Hi, welcome to the channel New Harvest Light. This is an introduction to a playlist that I've put together on the basics of believing, basic believers, what it means to be a believer, and it's in 5 parts. So lesson 1 is the basics of the gospel. What is it that believers believe, basically speaking, and then in lesson 2 we talk about what did Jesus say about Jesus. What did Jesus claim about himself? Because there's a lot of information and misinformation that Jesus said this, or Jesus said that, or Jesus would do this, or Jesus would. So we let him speak for himself from the Bible. What is it that Jesus did say? Did he claim to be the Son of God? So we talk about that in lesson 2, and then lesson 3 is on goodness and good enough. What is goodness? Who is good? Is it good enough to believe in the good Lord and the good book, or do we need to believe in that Jesus is God, not just that he is good, but that he's God? Because that sort of makes a difference. And so is being good enough good enough? Being good as everybody else, is that good enough, or does that just mean that we're all not good enough? And then in lesson 4 we talk about faith and forgiveness. How do you get from that point to realizing your sinfulness and need for a Savior, and how do we appropriate that for ourselves? How do we come to Christ, and how do we become a believer, to confess our belief in God, believe in our hearts that Jesus is the Son of God? How do we get from that point that we get from sinfulness to forgiveness by faith? And then we talk in lesson 5 about faith and fellowship. So it's what you do if you get to that point. You made that decision. That decision is new to you. Where do you go from there? And so this is kind of meant to be very brief. It's just not any great depth or detail. Not meant to be that, but this is just an introduction of that. You can use this however you want. If you're just for your own personal reasons want this information and want to hear about this, then that's great. It's one of the best ways that this could possibly be used. But if you're already a believer and you just want to understand your faith a little bit better, this may help deepen it. And help you understand what it is that you believe and why you're a believer, help you to affirm yourself that, yes, I have truly believed in the gospel. And you can also use it in Sunday school lessons, Bible teachings, home studies, however you might want to use it. Or as likewise as a witnessing tool, say, hey, I would really like to explain the gospel to someone, but I just don't seem to have the words, have it all together, or have the time and place where I can do that. So you could use this series and just point them to it. Point them to this channel. They could read these playlists. I've tried to keep them all at about 15 minutes. So, it's not a whole lot of hours and hours of content. So, hope it's a blessing to you. It's meant to be. There's no charge. There's nothing being pushed here. No agenda. I don't associate this to any particular church or anything like that. So we're not going to try to sell you anything at the end. Surprise, surprise. Here's a bill or something like that. It's nothing like that. Not asking for funds or anything like that. Just hope that it's a blessing to you. So hopefully you can utilize it and be helped by it. God bless you. Go with God.